Shot. The Biden-Harris Department of Justice now suing Virginia over the state's efforts to keep non-citizens off its voter rolls ahead of Election Day. Here's what the DOJ is alleging. Quote, the Commonwealth's unlawful actions here have likely confused, deterred, and removed U.S. citizens who are eligible to fully vote. But Governor Glenn Youngkin says his state is protecting the law. Listen.
Here I am, a governor, mandated, and oh, by the way, proud to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Virginia, and by law to make sure that we have clean voter rolls. And the Department of Justice shows up 25 days before a presidential election and says, stop doing that. To me, this is unprecedented.
Virginia Attorney General Jason Miyares joins me now. Jason, great to have you. On its face, this is a fight over what's called the quiet period provision, which says that removing ineligible voters from rolls must be completed 90 days before an election. Governor Glenn Youngkin, who you just saw there, signed his executive order on August 7th, exactly 90 days before the election. What am I missing, AG Miyares?
Well, I think what you're missing, or really what DOJ is missing, is just basic common sense, which is this is a law that's been on the books in Virginia since 2006, signed into law by Governor Tim Kaine, a Democrat, and has been enforced within that 90-day period by subsequent Democrat governors, Ralph Northam and Terry McAuliffe. The reality is that we have a law mandating that the governor and the attorney general, as the chief lawyer for the Commonwealth, to make sure we have clean voting rolls. That's common sense. These are individuals that have positively affirmed to DMV that they are non-citizens. The DMV forms our Department of Elections. We then give that individual a notice saying, listen, you have indicated you're a non-citizen. Please fill out the affirmation of citizenship so you can be properly make sure you're on our voter rolls, or you're going to be removed. And so these are individuals that have self-identified they're non-citizens, over 6,000 individuals. And so this has happened. This has been a law on the books. And I think it's something we should all want. And I would say this just personally. The idea that the Department of Justice would insinuate the governor, particularly myself, which one of my earliest memories was seeing my mother become a U.S. citizen after she had fled Cuba, and her taking me with her. First time she ever got to vote in her life, she was in her late 30s, how much pride she had. Your right to vote is precious. But what we're talking about are not citizens, we're talking about non-citizens. And having clean voter rolls is one of the critical parts and functions of the governor's job. He is obeying the law, and it's our job in the Attorney General's office to defend him as he is executing his role as the chief executive of the Commonwealth.
Okay, the DOJ, though, and all the Democrat organizations that are supporting the DOJ in this movement, in this fight against you, say actual citizens are at risk of being purged. What's the response to that line of argument?
My question is, where are all these left-wing groups that have brought this lawsuit when Tim Kaine signed this into law, or when Ralph Northam and Terry McAuliffe were also similarly acting in a similar capacity? So I applaud Governor Youngkin for wanting to make sure we have clean voting rolls. That's common sense. But as we all know, common sense is very common in D.C. these days. So I think their legal theory is incorrect. I look forward to defending vigorously the governor's position. Again, these are not officials going in and just randomly saying, well, I think this person may be a non-citizen or this person may be a non-citizen. No, these are individuals that have gone into the DMV, have positively affirmed on their own they are non-citizens, and then DMV communicates that to the Department of Elections in Virginia. And the governor's executive order positively reaffirms that. This is common sense. There's really nothing there. What they're doing, though, and I will say this, if you're any elected official, whether you're a prosecutor or the Attorney General's office, time and resources, you have a limited amount of what you could use with your staff. The idea that within 30 days of an election, this is what the Department of Justice is deciding, this is the hill they're going to try to die on, to essentially say, yes, you as governor and the Attorney General have to ignore Virginia law to remove non-citizens, individuals that have said, listen, I'm not a citizen, and remove off the voter roll. That just goes to show you they have such misplaced priorities, misplaced resources, and a lack of leadership right now in the Department of Justice.
We'll be watching. We are less than 3 weeks before Election Day. Obviously, we need a resolution on this. We'll follow up with you to see ultimately what happens. AG Miyares, thank you for your time this morning. We'll be watching.